Okay, this is in UK turn 2. They're going to spend $4 on advancing their technology. They're going to spend $30 on 10 infantry, and they're going to spend $10 on a fighter. They do have 3 attacks to declare, all of which are happening in North Africa. And so we'll go over what's going on there. I think that should be enough to get all of the information in. Okay, so they're going to be declaring attacks on El Alamein, Ethiopia, and Italian Somaliland. Ethiopia is easy. It's simply a walk-in with one of the 2 infantry from Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. El Alamein, however, has quite a lot of moving parts. So let's have a look at what's happening there. So they're going to take a transport from C-Zone 81, come into 98, 96, load up 2 infantry and bring them back to 98 and go into El Alamein. They're taking the tactical bomber and the 2 fighters from Malta and hitting El Alamein. And they are taking the cruiser from 81 and the cruiser from 76 to do offshore shots. Everything in Egypt, with the exception of 1 artillery, is going to be hitting El Alamein as well. And I think that's everything for El Alamein. The other attack is on Italian Somaliland. And they're going to come in with 1 infantry being paradropped from Malta, and they're going to take the transport ship in 76, bring it up to 81, load up an infantry from Anglo-Egyptian Sudan and an artillery from Egypt, and then go down into Italian Somaliland. They're also supporting that with a fighter that was on the carrier and the offshore shot from the battleship from 39. The one other thing, this tactical bomber that was on the carrier is going to participate in the El Alamein attack. And both tactical bombers will be performing target selects, one on the artillery and one on the tank. So we'll get all of these battles set up on the battle board, and then we will start rolling. Okay, this is the amphibious assault on El Alamein. The HMS Fidelity is dropping off 2 infantry. There will be offshore shots from the HMS Newfoundland and the HMS Ajax. In addition, the carrier Ark Royal is sending a tactical bomber. In addition, there are ground forces, 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 mechanized infantry, and 1 tank, plus 2 fighters and a tactical bomber. Both tactical bombers will be making target select attacks. So the first target select will be on the Italian artillery. So here we go for that one. And it missed. And the second target select will be on the Italian tank. And it missed. So it missed with both target selects. But we have 2 1s for the amphibious assault, 3 1s for the ground assault, a 2 for the artillery, and a 2 for the supported mech infantry, 2 2s for the fighters, a 2 for the, two 3s for the fighters, a 3 for the tank, and 2 2s for the offshore cruiser shots. So here we go. 2 4 hits. Okay, so that is all the ground forces with the exception of the tank. Okay, the cruisers cannot fire again, so we'll just take those out and just re-roll that when it's time. We're going to get 3 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 tank. No hits. Well, that's really unimpressive. Nice job, Italians. Alright, they only need 1 hit now. 3 hits. Okay, so more than enough. Territory is taken. Can the Italians inflict any damage on the British? No. Okay, so the British lose nothing, and the territory is taken. And this is the amphibious landing in Italian Somaliland. The British transport ship HMS Empire Spearhead is dropping off an infantry and an artillery. The British battleship, the HMS Duke of York, is doing an offshore shot, and the HMS Ark Royal has sent a fighter. In addition, there is 1 infantry being paradropped by the RAF. The Italians are defending with an infantry and an artillery. So we have 1 infantry unsupported, 1 supported infantry and an artillery, a fighter, and a battleship. 2 hits, that's all they needed. Territory's taken, but the Italians don't hit anything, so that's pretty terrible. No casualties whatsoever for the British this turn. Okay, let's do British non-combat. The destroyer in C-Zone 119 is going to end up in C-Zone 104 as, I guess, a bit of a blocker of some kind. He says in his email, give those guys medals. Okay, in the med, I'm dealing with a fair bit of movement of various things. This destroyer in C-Zone 96 is coming over to 98. 1 fighter and 1 tactical bomber that participated in the El Alamein attack will end up in 98 and land on the carrier, which is moving here. And so is the destroyer there from C-Zone 81. The other fighter will land in Egypt. The other tactical bomber will land in Transjordan. Down here in the Italian Somaliland attack, the fighter will land in Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. The strategic bomber that is currently an air transport will end up in Kenya. The destroyer from 76 will end up in 98. And if we move over to what's happening in the Pacific area, or the Indian Ocean area, 3 of the infantry from India are going to rail to eastern Iran. The fighter from India is going to fly over to Transjordan. It has just enough movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there will be 1 infantry moving into Burma as a blocker. So it looks like he's basically giving up Calcutta. Because he's not placing anything there either, as we will see in a minute. So let me tidy up the board, and we'll come back with placements and money. Okay, placements, to the surprise of probably nobody. 9 infantry are going into the UK, plus a fighter. The last infantry that they purchased is going into Cairo. In terms of income changes, El Alamein changes hands. Italian Somaliland changes hands. Neither of those is worth anything. Although, of course, El Alamein gives them a national objective. But Ethiopia changes hands. And so they're going to go up $1. And the Italians are going to go down $1. So, if we adjust the income over here on the income tracker, we'll see that Italy goes from 18 to 17 and the UK goes from 38 to 39. So their income is $39 plus a $5 national objective of having Transjordan, Egypt, and El Alamein. So they're going to get $44 to put in their treasury for the next round. Okay, let's do the disposition of forces. Okay, we'll start up here in the UK since we're already there. In the UK proper, there are now 10 infantry, five anti-aircraft, and one fighter, along, of course, with 2 Canadians and 2 French. Down in the Med, they have a single anti-aircraft artillery on Malta. They have in C-Zone 98 a fairly large naval contingent at this point, consisting of a fully loaded carrier with a fighter and attack bomber, a transport, 2 cruisers, and 3 destroyers. In Al Alamein, they have, is that 5? Looks like 5. 5 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 tank. In Egypt, they have an infantry and a fighter. In Transjordan, they have a fighter and a tactical bomber, along, of course, with 2 Canadians and a French troop. In Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, there's a fighter. In Ethiopia, there's an infantry. In Kenya, there is currently an air transport. In Italian Somaliland, there are 2 infantry and 1 artillery. In C-Zone 76, there's a battleship and a transport. In eastern Iraq, there are 4 infantry. In India, there are 3 infantry and 2 anti-aircraft artillery. In Burma, there is an infantry. And way, way, way down there in Malaya, there are 3 infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery, along, of course, with an Anzac troop. So that's all of the British troops on the board. And it's now going to be Italy. Oh, sorry, we missed C-Zone 104. There is a destroyer. Okay, so Italy's up next. We'll see what Mussolini does.